Well, we met in college at Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina, and DJ Lord Jazz, who was called Jazzy A, DJ Jazzy A back then. He was the popular and most famous DJ for the colleges around our college, you know, and he did all of the parties. So every time he would do a party, I would ask to freestyle. He would let me freestyle and I would murder it. But I come from a background where Redman was my DJ. We used to freestyle all the time. You know, me and Red grew up in the same neighborhoods. And so I come from that, of coming out of battling people in the hallways of Newark Tech, the high school I went to. We just come, you know, lyricism and battling was our thing in Newark, New Jersey. So by the time I got to school and I got handed a mic by the DJ at a party, I was, you know, that was my thing. Run from Run DMC might not have been the greatest lyricist or on anybody's lyricism top list, but you have to put him on a top MC list. So for me, I wanted to be like a run from Run DMC. MC wise, I wanted to be like a LL Cool J when he like box, and you know what I mean? I wanted to be that guy. So when he handed me the mic at the parties, man, I used to tear it up, you know, and then funk would come after me. And by that time, people want to get back to dancing, and he would never really get the mic. So one day, DJ Lord Jazz told him, you know, he said, yo, I'm doing this radio show, this hip hop radio show. Our school, which is 88.1 FM, was a jazz station. But he heard the program director one day say it takes me an hour to get home, and I don't even turn on the station because I'll be here all day. So Jazz took that slot that he goes home and created an underground hip hop. So it's going for a long time before they even found out. But anyway, he had myself and Mr. Funky Man come up there and rhyme, and the first lyrics we ever spit was Psycho together. And we wrote them differently though. And we spit Psycho together. Derek L.A. Jackson, who was actually a founder of The Roots, used to manage Scott Storch and all of that. He went to our school, and he was Marley Marl's cousin. He said, when I graduate, I'm going to work for Marley. Y'all need to make me a tape. So Lord Jazz is the synergy. He's the centerpiece. DJ Lord Jazz created Lords of the Underground. We wasn't called Lords of the Underground then, but he put those entities together. And that's the DJ working again, right? Right where the hip hop started. So the DJ saw one MC, saw how he mastered the crowd, and he saw this other MC who was kind of laid back, but was lyricism and flows was impeccable. And he put us together, you know, to Marley's sound and had us looking right, feeling right. And then you got Lords of the Underground. And shout out to Tragedy, because Tragedy said that, you know, in the freestyle, that he was a Lord of the Underground. And that's where we got our name. So Tragedy Gaddafi actually accidentally named Lords of the Underground. It was talking about it like a couple of years, maybe about a year and a half ago now, man. They were talking about a Lords biopic. And to be honest, I'm gonna just be honest, man. I feel like Lords of the Underground, we don't get what we've given to the culture, to us. We feel like, you know, a lot of people they were inspired by us, but they don't give us the credit for it, right? And that's cool. We understand what we've done, but at times it can get tough when you're a creator. You're like, wow, they didn't get that, okay. But anyway, a production company came to us and asked to write our story. So we went through the preliminary, you know, meetings and stuff like that. Production company wrote a synopsis. I didn't even think that they would accept it. I thought that, you know, I just thought, they're not gonna be interested in a story about Lords of the Underground. But it's not just a story about Lords of the Underground. It became a story about 3 men, 2 MCs, this one DJ, 2 out of Newark, New Jersey, 1 out of Cleveland, Ohio. And it became the story and the pursuit of hip hop than about just Lords of the Underground. It just happens to be the story of Lords of the Underground. And I think when you tell stories and you look past the brands of artists in hip hop and you tell their stories, the content will be so much more interesting. It's like almost watching The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. You knew what you were going to get when you saw the mic with Michael Jordan, but you didn't know you were going to get the story of Steve Kerr, of how he lost his father. You didn't know that you would get the story of totally of Phil Jackson and where he came from and the coaching jobs that he had to take in Puerto Rico before he became the greatest coach for the greatest team and the greatest player of all times. So with other things come a collaborative of just telling the story. And this content is king year of 2020, you know, and getting that out, people should understand that. Look past the big brands of, yeah, that's McDonald's, or look past the big brands of, yeah, that's your favorite artist, and look into the story. And I think people will be more interested, man. And that's what I'm trying to tell people with Brenda's son. You know, I believe if people put their ears on it and get past that it's not served on the anymore, I believe they'll get and understand the message wholeheartedly. I think it will be, man. Shout out to MTV, man, for making another category this year at the MTV Awards, because they made a slot for IG, like social media DJing, like the best. So DJ D-Nice got nominated. We all know that he's gonna win. It's a loaded category, but I thought that was kind of ill to make a category for the DJs who have been holding it down during this pandemic on social media platforms. Well, we don't really like sending files. We will, you know, we old school, you know, the older you get, you kind of get stuck in your ways a little bit. We just create in the process, you know, he's a doctor, he's a philanthropist, he's a motivational speaker, a brother by the name of John Cleese. I don't know if you ever heard of John Cleese, and that's like Cleese, like as if you would spell cheese, but with an H's, put an L, John Cleese. He has a lecture about what creativity is, you know, and talk about the energy, and not actually what it is, but what creativity is not. And he talks about how, you know, has a time limit to it, and the energy, you know, you get writer's block in one space and you're still trying to fight through it. You're like, oh man, let me get up. As soon as you get up, you're like, oh, that's because you moved, you diverted the energy, you shifted the energy, you know what I mean? So my point is when you have those three energies, or all of the energies in the room that are gonna be on that particular project that's going to be made tangible, that piece of art that now it's not a thought anymore, it's actually a creation, you know, it's something special about being in there with my brothers and whoever's involved. I'm the type of person that if you came to the studio session and depending on what we're crafting, I'm going to talk to you to see what you can add on to that feeling and that vibe in that room too. And maybe not, maybe you're not feeling it. And then we might try to restructure your energy away from ours so that it doesn't interrupt it. So, you know, being in that, man, creating with Lords of the Underground, creating with the Snow Goons, creating with Onyx, you know, created with my brother Uncle Los, who were all in the studio with us, man. It was just magical, man. So legendary. That's what came out of that, because we just felt like these are legendary moments that we actually live as men who come from cities like Newark, New Jersey, and cities like Cleveland, Ohio. A lot of us didn't make it out, but here we are traveling the world in front of thousands of people every night, and we get to be able to go to different studios. So let's collectively continue to create for those people who enjoy that and they come support that. And that's why we still do it. We understand that we're a touring group, man. So we just said, you know what? These are legendary moments that we continue to make. So let's call our album So Legendary. And that's a line in one of Funky Man's lines that was on one of the songs that's on the album. So shout out to Funk. Yeah, it's so legendary.